We're here today to talk with Randolph Wilson. Randolph has a story to tell about his experience in prison and past prison. So let's start at the beginning. Randolph, tell us a little bit of how you came to catch a charge in the first place.
I came visiting my family in Henderson, North Carolina. Got a brother and sister down here. How I got caught up, I don't know. You know, a couple of guys, friends of mine, they caught a case. And they put my name in it, saying I told them to do it. And 20 years later, they write an affidavit that they lied. And they was fearful they would get the death penalty. When I was in prison then, I was already caught up in there off a hearsay case.
So, when you originally were charged and they convicted you, how long was your sentence?
He sentenced me to 2 life sentences plus 30 years.
So it would be fair to say when you went into prison, you had no reasonable expectation of ever getting out, even though you knew you were innocent.
I didn't have a release date. And in my mind, I felt like I was going to spend the rest of my life there. That's where I was going to die.
So, tell us a bit about, you're there, you figure you're going to die there, and now you're adjusting to the dynamics of being inside. Most of the people listening to this haven't seen the inside. Tell us a little bit about just what that was like and how you moved through that situation.
Well, when I went in there, I was 20 years old, young. I ain't give a damn. I mean, this way I felt this is my home for the rest of my life. So, you know, I dealt with it as I knew I was dealing with crooks, gangsters, murderers, killers, all kinds of people, different type of attitudes. So I dealt with it as I'm in the jungle. And I want to survive in this jungle in any means necessary. So, you know, built up an attitude. I was bitter because I knew I was innocent. But at the same time, I couldn't show no weakness. But those are the ones that don't survive. Then I really believe God played a part because I prayed and I kept hope that things gonna change. I'm gonna get some help on my appeal. You know, when you got that hope that you wishing for something and you can put in your mind that this can't happen, it's something you can look forward to. But when you get the letter and say, Court of Appeal denied your appeal, it's like it started all over when you got sentenced again. It's like the ball dropped, your heart dropped. It's just like the day when the judge say, I sentence you to 2 life sentences with no possibility of parole. When that feeling, and only person can do that feeling, you gotta go through it. It's a feeling that I can't explain. It's a hurting feeling. It's a sad feeling. It's a feeling like you homeless, like damn, life, no parole.
So, you said you prayed, how did you keep hope? And how long did it take before somebody found out about your case and intervened for you? I'd like to hear a little bit about that.
Well, I wrote a lot of innocent projects, senators, presidents. I wrote everybody. And North Carolina, Winston-Salem law students, it's a college, they picked my case up. And they worked on my case for about 10 years. But it was just paperwork they was filing. They filed clemency, You know, they was telling me the same thing. How did you get a life sentence for burglary when you was never there? And I asked her, yo, that's what I'm saying. And see, the innocent projects don't really pick your case up if they feel like, yo, you innocent. If they see one thing that they say, it's a possibility he could have did it, they not gonna mess with you. And you know, when they picked it up, it felt like a little help. And when you got 5 or 6 students coming with the professor, they got the visiting room, and they got the law books, and you know, they got the tablets, and they saying, well, this thing supposed to happen, the law state this, the law state, it gives you hope like, yo, now somebody gonna see it. Now somebody gonna turn this case over, and I get the justice I can get. But it went on.
So I understand a bit of the hope when, you know, the kids at Winston-Salem started to pick up this case and do some work on it. But that was still a long, long haul. Knowing you were innocent, how did you just not want to smash everybody you saw in the face? How did you keep from
always
just
felt that.
Okay, talk to me a little bit about
Yeah, I
that.
always felt that. And I got into a lot of trouble. Spent a lot of time in the hole. You know what I'm saying? You know, the guards. You want to listen to them? Because I had it in my heart, like, you know, that's why you work here. I live here. And I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. So I didn't want to hear nothing. Will put me in a single cell. I mean, sometimes I felt better being alone. In my cell, I could read my book. I could pray. I could meditate. It's just their privacy. So, you know, they could never fear me and scare me with the hole. You know what I'm saying? When they tell me, oh, you ready to go to the hole, I say, I'm ready when you're ready. But I kept my stuff packed up for situations like that. And people used to come in my locker, man, why you got your bags already packed up? I said, because you never know when it's time for me to ride out of here. Well, you getting out soon? I said, nah, I'm going to the hole. Well, you know, and these police be acting, man, you know what I'm saying? And then I knew how the attitude I had. You know what I'm saying? I'm mad. Kind of mad with the whole world. I'm mad with the system. You know, the system supposed to protect you. And then when the system fails you, what do? How do you feel? If you sit there and you read your paperwork, you know what I'm saying? My lawyer and the guy that got killed, mother and father was the best of friends for over 30 years. Why the judge didn't take him off that case? How about you think he's going to offend me? You know what I'm saying? I'm reading the paperwork, and I said, so if they seen it in the paperwork, what makes you think they didn't see it if I'm reading it? They didn't care, you know what I'm saying? I just sit back and I just thought. But sometimes it just made me mad. But then as my daughter got grown up, she helped me. With the love and her coming to visit me, it helped me. Because she started talking to me. You know, Daddy, I'm praying for you, something good finna happen. I used to say in my mind, that's an old saying. You know what I'm saying? Make it through the night, tomorrow be a brighter day. I make it through the night, the next day be worse than yesterday. But you know, I took it as, you know, I took the good with the bad. As I got older, I started praying more. I started doing more, being more peaceful, you know, saying to myself like, something gotta happen. You know what I'm saying? Because I said in my mind, if it's a God, he ain't gonna put me in a predicament like this. You know what I'm saying? And knowing I'm innocent, so me and my daughter talk. You know what I'm saying? And she started telling me a lot of stuff, like, you know, God do everything for a reason. And sometimes I look at her on the visit, and then, you know, that's my baby girl, I just don't say nothing. But deep down in my heart, what was the reason to give me life? What is the reason behind it? But as I got older, I realized what the reason was. Because he probably saved my life. Because all the guys was friends of mine and cousins I used to get around with, they all dead now, they got murdered. So maybe that was what God said, I'm going to take you and put you on ice. Because I'm not ready to send you to your grave yet. You got a purpose here. And maybe my purpose here is now to try to teach the young ones out there. Give them the lesson of what I've been through, you know, and I want to just stop the violence really.
struggled for most of my life with anger. Never had to pay a big price for it. At some point in prison, did you act out on that anger and that caused you some severe harm?
Plenty of times.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Sometimes I could be mad about something, and somebody else can just do something little, and it ain't really about what he did. It's about what I have on my chest all the time. So I would say in my mind, well, I'm gonna give it to you. You want it, I'm gonna give it to you. And I'm not giving it to you for that little incident you did, stepped out of line. I'm giving it to you because of what I got on my chest, because I was already stressed out. I had to let that stress go. And then later on, I'll be saying, you know, dang, man, I ain't even have to do him dirty like that. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I mean, that little stuff he said, you know what I'm saying? But I was just so strong on the disrespect, because that carries you a long ways in prison. If you allow a man to disrespect you a little bit, you got another man sitting back saying, oh, he said that the doctor got away with it, he didn't do nothing. I could say that. You see what I'm saying? So I was so strong on that. And I was so aggressive of putting, I like throwing my weight around one time. I've always been a big man. I always lift weights, you know? And if you wasn't feeling me, I was mad. Because that's how had built my mind up in prison. They had built me into an animal, but that's how I had to be to get my point across.
So, can you tell us when you acted out on that anger, though? Something specific you did that stands in your mind that said, yikes, that was a bad move.
It was one time I was in the chow hall. Young dude. That we in a line waiting. Maybe you got 20 people in line. We ready to get our food. Young dude just walked. And he didn't get in front of me, but he skipped me because he got in front of the man in front of me. And he was an old man. So I asked him, I said, yo, shorty, what kind of type of time you on? And I said that, I was like, yo, so your mind disrespecting, you know, getting in front of me like this. He looked at me. He said, old school, this ain't what you wanted. And when they said that in my mind, I smacked the shit out. And I kept it hot. But I said in my mind later on, you know, he was young enough to be my child. I could have dealt with it different by talking to him. But I was so angry. I'm in prison, man. I just got turned down on appeal. I'm walking around like looking for first person disrespect me. I want to give it to him. First person say something slick, I want to give it to him. But it wasn't because of that. Later on, I was like, man, I could have, you know, I swollen up. Young kid, now you walk around, shades on, looking sad, looking scared, embarrassed. There's so many people seeing it happen to him. And I felt like, yo, you didn't even have to do him like that. You could have talked to him. But it wasn't even about the disrespect part. It was about I just got turned down for my appeal. Now I'm back into the state of mind when I got sentenced. Man, you hear, you go to your program and they say, well, Wilson, you know, some of them be trying to be funny. Don't get no asshole program. Oh, Wilson, you come up for honor grade. That means green clothes. You work outside the fence. Getting close to getting out. 2019. It's 1998. Look at them, man. You talking about 20-something years ago. And in my mind, like, don't play with me. Don't disrespect me. Don't even call me in this office about that. You know what I'm saying? I said, why would you even call me in the office, even come playing with my emotions like this? What's wrong with you, Wilson? I'm really looking at this person like, you really don't realize what you did? I mean, so I got up and walked out. 2 weeks later, she had the psychologist call me. Oh, he got an anger problem. And I talked to the psych. He was like, I don't see that. I broke it down to him. Man, why would you even call me into your office to tell me 20 years I come up for honor grade? I'm saying? It ain't nothing you can offer me. That's the reason why I used to tell the program, you know, I'm good. Wilson, you come up for your one review, I'm good. I come sign the paper, I'm gone. What can you tell me? Can't get on the grade. 19, 20 years from now. Can't get minimum custody. 19, 20 years from now. What can you tell me? Just leave me alone. Let me be me. I sign the paper, you see me, and I'll go. You get your check, I go back to sleep. Everything's going good.
So kind of resigned to the fact you didn't see any way you were ever going to get out.
Not then.
Now, did you ever hit a guard or have a physical encounter with a guard that went sideways?
I smacked the sergeant at Central Prison. I slapped him like maybe you play fight with your friends in school. You know, we used to slap box. I slapped him like that, a light slap. And they beat the wheels off me. They had these long beige oak sticks. I felt they beat me until I went out off conscious. But that's how they get down at Central Prison. That's they supposed to be the toughest prison you got. That's where they bring all the bad guys at. Death row inmates. Everybody mess up in the jail, that's where they bring them, Central Prison. Supermax, maximum security, bring them Central Prison. When you go some other camp and mess up, no other camp don't feel like they can't handle you, they bring you to Central Prison. You never see no daylight, you behind a wall. You get out of line, they kill you back there. I didn't know, I'm young, wild, mad. Like you said, I'm carrying that chip on my shoulder. I just made that wrong move. And I didn't have to think about I made the move. When I woke up in the cell, I knew I made it. Because I was swollen up, sore. You know, guys next door, they knew about it. Boy, Doc, they put a whooping on your ass, man. You gotta get down. I said, Mama, I'm praying, man. Now I say I'm praying I'll just make it to another day because my head was hurting so bad. You know, the shift changed. So the second shift come. So, you know, we got the steps in there, but people already know. So it's like, you know, I'm laying there, the room spinning around. And they scream, yo, Doc, here they come. Strap up. I look down, I see the lieutenant, about 5, 6 more police behind him. And I said in my mind, damn, I'm so weak and sore. I was like, damn, you know, it took me being a man then. So I said in my mind, I gotta think and I gotta think fast. But the lieutenant, he was known for busting ass. So he had got the word and he jumped off from first shift. So when I heard him, I called my door number. I said, my heart started beating. When the door busted open, I was standing there. He was standing there, he had both his hands on the stick like this. And he looked me in my face, I'm looking him in his eye. He said, you want to put your hand on my officers? And I said, look, I don't want no problem. He must seen the swellness and how I answered to him. If I could have came any way slick out my mouth, he'd have continued to put an ass whooping on me. But he seen it. Got outside and told him to close the door. All the inmates up there. Oh man, Doc, you broke down. Shut up, sleep. I got an ass whooping, man. I don't want no more trouble, man. I said, I'm going to sleep. When I laid down, you know what? When I healed up, I had time to think. Why you put yourself through these type of problems, man? You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you saw, you got to start meditating and talking to yourself when you're in those cells. And I said in my mind, it's a better way for me to deal with this. Because I'm going to continue getting whooped, you know what I'm saying, until those sticks continue beating you in your head, you create problems. You know what I'm saying? I go to medical, you know, I get blood pressure checked. She said, your blood pressure high. I said, I've been eating salt and all this all my life. They put them sticks on my head, all of a sudden I got high blood pressure. So they pump me with 2 or 3 pills and don't eat salt, drink a lot of water. I've been on them high blood pressure pills since then. But I never had it in the street.
So after the whooping and then the second shift comes and you know that if you don't handle yourself pretty well, you're gonna get whooped again.
Oh yes, you will.
Then did you have, so it sounds like you had a change of heart then. Did you have any more encounters after that? Or did you kind of learn your lesson at that point?
I learned how to deal with it because I got older. And I've learned how to look at situations and stop reacting because I'm mad with what I'm going through with, because it ain't gonna make it no better. You know what I'm saying? So, I start praying. And I start seeing different things happen for me because then it started getting close. I'm up in 2019. And now the program's called me and they're like, oh, so if you stay out of trouble for 6 months, I'm gonna bring you up beyond grade. I'm like, 6 months? It's like something was in the back of the woods, you can't see nothing but woods. But now when they talk to you, it's like you right here. You right here where we at. I can see. So I can say, man, I can see that. I can see that finish line. So now I start working towards it. I got a book I read, and it helped me too. 48 Laws of Power. I recommend anybody read that book. That book was so good that I thought like it, but when I read the book, it put things in action for me in life. One of them like, never outshine your master. But I say in my mind, you can never feel like you know more than the superior, even though they might be wrong. And see, I've been carrying that still because that kept me out of a lot of arguments. And I do it now. And some people say, stop, Wilson, don't do that. God come to me, man, this, and this. You right. Bron James the best, you right. And I'm like, no problem. And then later on, they be wrong and do that. Man, why you gotta say it now? I'm not going for no argument. If he said he felt he's the best, he know, go ahead, you right. And it's be like you deal with that with the police too. You know what I'm saying? Lieutenants, all that, blah, 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 I'll lock you up. Hey, man, I have no problem, man. You know what I'm saying?
So once you knew there was some glimmer of hope that you might actually get out, what kind of help was there to you inside that would help you with when you got outside?
It wasn't no help inside. You go to roll squad, if you don't go out there and pick up paper on the road, they're gonna lock you up. You don't go wash pots in the kitchen in 100 degrees with a hot fan blowing on you, they're gonna lock you up. You don't get a GED, you okay? They ain't gonna mess with you. So, I seen how their system was running. So I said in my mind, I see the game they playing. And the only thing beat the cross is the double cross. I'm teaching myself. The better things I need, I teach myself. You know what I'm saying? My people, they kept me up with different things. Like, we get back in the world, you're gonna need credit cards, you're gonna need this, you're gonna need that. So when I got an honor grade, instead of me chasing every time I could go out on a pass, I want to go to Burger King. I want to go to McDonald's. I tell Mr. Dave, can you take me to the Social Security office, man, so I can sign up for my Social Security? I tell Mr. Tom, can you take me down here, man, so I can fill out the test, try to get my driver's license permit? I do things like that. Set up for my SSI. Give me an ID card. I set up for things like that. When that is the job the program is supposed to do.
So then you get out. September 4th, I think?
Yeah.
So what's happened since you got out to move you closer to where you want to be?
Well, when I got with Tom, he put this team together. And the support team They didn't just become a team, they became family. But they put me where I need to be. Driver's license, SSI, ID card, social security card, birth certificate. Those are the things I needed. Physical therapy, going to different doctor appointments. I was in a wheelchair for going on 2 years. I mean, you know now, I think I can do the electric slide. Put the right type of music on. I feel great, I feel strong. You know, I feel, you know, it's a challenge that I get mad sometimes. I'm only human. People, you know, people look at it like, I don't know why, that sometimes they'll look like, you know, why, you know, people say, why you get upset off of that little small thing? But they gotta realize, like, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know how bad that I wanna be as being the place of a man. You know, having my own home, going out to dinner with people. I want to say, just one check. You know what I'm saying? I take it, just one check. You know, it's just certain things, you know. Somebody's birthday come out, I want to be able to buy them a present. You know, y'all my team, y'all my family, happy birthday. I didn't know it was your birthday. It wasn't nothing but a box of candy. It ain't nothing but some cologne. Something, just something little. See you, your birthday, here you go, man, here you go, a cigar. You don't smoke it, but the gift, or Doc gave me this, we'll put this on the shelf. You know, just things like that, you know, and then when stuff fail, I get a little upset. And see, me, I've learned, I don't act out when I get upset. I get quiet. See, before, I used to show my ass. You know what I'm saying? Now, I just get quiet. I just need time alone. And people be like, what's wrong with him? He ain't said no. Instead of saying, he's just going through a phase. He'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? But it's something that he wanted. It failed. He wanted so bad. He wanted so bad. Because like, when Billy helped me get my credit up, my people would drug me, use my credit card. You know, people telling me, oh, you owe, I'm in prison. You know, she filled my paperwork out for me. Now my credit score that came up. And I'm always telling her, I want a credit card, I want a credit card. She said, just take your time. Sometimes I get upset, like, ah, man, I want a credit card. You know what I'm saying? But then later on, I think about it. If you had that credit card, you'd have bought them shoes, you'd have bought that jacket. And you barely struggling with this SSI. You barely making it with this SSI. Paying your rent, paying your car insurance, paying this, paying your phone bill. So I said, man, I might have been messing my credit back up. And we just cleaning it up. So I said, you know, just different things, you know, with different people of my team. I get a little upset with, you know what I'm saying? Like, because everybody different. You know what I'm saying? Sally, she'd get me on the highway. Like, nah, no, we ain't on no highway. You all right? Just keep over the speed. Just follow that car. Now I'm mad now. I can't believe she got me on this highway. Then I'm gone. And I'm just feeling good now. I'm driving. You got but 2 more minutes, you'll be off it now to really relax. Now I got to the place I want. I drove the Chapel Hill. I can't wait to come back. You know what I'm saying? But when you be around a person, you get to know different people. You know what I'm saying? How, you know, see, when I came out with my credit card, they gave me a food stamp card. And I got up to about $600 on that card. But I got $600 because I was so embarrassed and ashamed that I didn't know how to use it. So my family give me $100. That's for me to keep my bed shaped up, you know, buy you some socks, stuff like that. I get up to the thing and I pay for it. Because I don't know how to use this card and I'm embarrassed. I think one day me and Billy was in Walmart. And she said, I bought some with some cash money. She waited till we got in the car. She said, you don't have your food stamp card no more? I said, yeah. She said, you don't have no money on it? I said, yeah, I got some money on it. She was looking, she didn't say nothing. She drove. Next day, I tried that again. She was like, go ahead and put your card out. And she showed it to me. Put your 4-digit number in. You gave me the receipt. You can't stop me no more with food now. I'm buying all the food now. I don't even want nobody to come with me no more. I'm buying all the food, but it took people to take time with people that don't know. Some people ain't gonna have that time to take with them. You know what I'm saying? And I had got used to just letting Billy do all the stuff for me. And then I see when you be like, oh, let him do it. Oh man, Gary with us today, man. I gotta do this on my own. Let him do it. And he gotta learn how to do it. I do it. But those are lessons and good lessons that we learn, because being locked up and don't know, it's good to have people there for you that really want to help you. A lot of people don't really look at it like that. Well, they look at it like, oh man, you know, in their mind, they criminals. I had this guy in my car, my pocketbook in the car. You know what I'm saying? Because people just think criminals are criminals. And some criminals are criminals. So I just can't say they ain't. And some people change. Some people just being innocent. But some people just feel like, I don't want to even have no dealings with them. Because I don't want to get calm. I don't want to get robbed. So they stay in the shell. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you got a lot of good people. And like when Tom put that together, I be thanking him all the time.
33 years in prison. Now you're out. How hard is it for you to trust somebody else?
That's hard. But when you put yourself around good people, it kind of ease your heart. See, when I be around y'all, it ease my heart to learn. You can trust me. But now I've learned, it's the group of people you around. You gonna have that energy that you gonna feel that something wrong with this person. Because the way they carry, the way they act. You know what I'm saying? So I've been around y'all, and y'all good people. And you kind of soften my heart. You know what I'm saying? Because I know if I was around the people I used to be around, or any other type of certain type of people, I would still have the same type of heart, because you'll feel the takedown. You'll feel the calm. You know what I'm saying?
So you've been out about 6 months, trying to look ahead to the next 2 or 3 months. For you, and it may be different for every person that comes out, for you in the next 2 or 3 months, what has to happen? What do you need most? And what do you have to do and others do to help you navigate these next 2 or 3 months?
I need my own home. Having my own home is really important. Give you time for me to think, time for me to, pray like I want to, time for me to do things that I want to do in my own home. Just relax. Some days, you might feel like you don't want to be bothered with nobody. You can just lock your door, clean your house like you want to, you lay back in the couch and catch a nap. You know what I'm saying? Just relax. That's really easing the mind. Meditate. You feel safe in your own home. You feel relaxed. That I got my car, so I need my own home. And get me a job. And see, when I get the license, the job will come with that. Get the job, have my own home. And for the next 3 months, if I can have that, I know I'll be going, moving to success more. You know what I'm saying? I feel I came a long way. You know what I'm saying? I'm really feeling to get the license. I got the vehicle, I got insurance on it. Got the little job income. I'm getting more wiser toward things. It's just different things that Then I learn how to communicate with people. You know when you say something or do something to a person, you can know how they look or how they act. You can just be that man and say, I apologize. I know I was wrong with that. No disrespect. We're done. I ain't got no problem with that. 20 years ago, you had to break both my legs and both my arms before I apologize if I'm wrong or right. It was just something I just felt like I just don't do. I think when you become a man, there's just a lot of different things that you do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm shooting at that.
So, to wrap it up, what else would you like to add that somehow in our conversation we haven't quite covered? What else does Randolph want the world to know?
I want to give back. If I don't open up me something like something for the wounded soldiers or something for people who's coming out of prison. See, that's why I'm trying to get that peer support specialist license. I'm supposed to start that class next week. I want to help this new generation, the youth. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a mentor. I want to be able to go talk with them. And when they need somebody to talk to, I can sit down and talk to them because I don't want to see them go through what I went through. And a lot of guys in prison, young guys in prison say that, oh man, if I'd have met you old school in the street, man, I would have never came here. I want to stop that. I want to see you met me now. So I don't want to never see you there. Because, I got a story to tell. And I can understand the pain they go through because a lot of guys in prison, young guys in prison that I have talked to, and the administration don't know what they go through with. They don't know what makes them commit those crimes those young kids are doing. You know what I'm saying? And I have talked to one little brother and I just said, Dad, Shorty's been through a lot to be 21 years old. You know what I'm saying? And he was young and his mother was smoking crack. His father was in jail and he was like 13 and he trying to take care of his little sisters and brothers. So when the mother selling the food stamps, everybody in their hungry house is hungry. So when you get a person in the street, that's what they say, the strong live off the weak. The older guys, then they pimp them little young guys. Give them packages, have them selling dope. But they feel, I can't go get a job 13. I can sell these drugs and I can make sure my sister eat, my little brother eat, I eat. You know what I'm saying? And they forced to be turned to that game. And that game is just like prison. You can be turned to a monster by doing wrong. And that's what he told me. He got locked up for drugs and he was in prison. And I looked at him and he was like, yo, I said, what you gonna do when you get out? He said, I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I said, damn. So you got a GED? He said, man, I don't know how to read or write. I told him, man, you need to go to school. He said, I'll get out in 2 months. He said, but I know how to count money. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's telling me. He said, I know how to bust that gun. I know how to rob people. I was like, God. I'm saying in my mind, what do? You got young kids back against the wall like that. You know what I'm saying? And they all stuck in a project. And all of them think the same. I shoot you, you shoot me. I take your dope, you take mine. You know what I'm saying? I gotta eat, I gotta feed my sister, I gotta feed my little brother. My mama on drugs, your mama on drugs. My daddy in prison, your daddy in prison. I'm like, yo, what do? You know what I'm saying? So, they say, build community, they can be able to play ball, have after school program. But after all you go to after school program, you still come back home to that broken home. That problem don't go nowhere. We gotta find a solution. And I'm just praying that somebody come up with it. The prison system is steady being crowded. I see them coming through the door. 19, 18. You got 40 years under the new law. You playing ball, laughing, joking. I look at him, I told one dude, I said, Shorty, you all right? He said, why you asking me? I said, you know, I ain't want to bust his bubble. I said, man, you know how much time you got? So I'm working in a clothes house. I can see next to him, life, you know what I'm saying, 40 years, this, like that. I said, man, you know how much time you got? He's like, yeah, man, but my brother trying to get me a lawyer. I said, you know, that's how I used to feel. That hope. Lawyer gonna come. Beat this appeal. I said to my mom, man, if you don't get a lawyer, you gotta give these people 42 years of your life. That's the new law. And you ain't but 21. You know what I'm saying? It hurt me because I've been through it. You know, I spent all my 20s in prison, all my 30s, all my 40s. I'm 56. And over half of my 50s. I said, man, all I want to do is just be happy, man. Just live the rest of my life in peace. You know what I'm saying? Find me a nice lady. Just get to know each other. Just chill. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do no arguing. If she want to do arguing, I see you later. We just be friends. I ain't got time for it. But he gonna have to face that. You know what I'm saying? And then you look to every one man problem, another man got a problem worse. Because I used to sit around with my 2 life sentences. But when they shut the yard down for them to go feed the death row inmates, they wait to get killed. And they would love to have my sentence. I just want to have life. To knowing that my day ain't gonna come to get killed. And then we life was saying, I would love to just have numbers. You know, I got a release date. So you know, it's real. It's real.
Randolph, thank you so very much for sharing. Much appreciated. Tam.
Good job.
Yep.
Wow.
Randolph,
It is.
you got a story and you know how to tell it.
It's real, man.